Live from the Washington, D.C. area, it's the Inside Scoop. All the news that our viewers want to know. Now, here's the host. Live from the Washington, D.C. area, it's the Inside Scoop. All the news that our viewers want to know. Now, here's the host.
Hello, I'm Dr. Sam Hancock. Normally you see me with Emerald Planet TV, but we're Inside Scoop, working with Ben Zuhl, the executive producer of this, doing an excellent job as far as sharing the news from the local areas. And we're going to be talking about the topic of education, particularly career and professional development. And we have with us Kari Brown, who is the Chief Executive Officer with what's known as the Partners for Education. And thank you for being here.
Thanks so much for having me, Sam.
Glad to have you. Say, tell us a little bit about the mission and vision as far as your organization is concerned.
Great. So the mission of Capital Partners for Education is to mentor low-income high school students. We help them prepare for college and then success in college, and then ultimately for them to excel in the workforce.
You know, you're working in an area that we've been working in ourselves for about 8 to 9 years now, which is Ward 8, Ward 7 in the southeast of Washington, D.C. Tell us a little bit about that area and why did you select that area? Because many people are trying to be in other wards, but you specifically selected to be there.
Sure. Well, you know, our mission is to help low-income high school students, and we really focus on those neighborhoods with the highest concentrations of poverty, and certainly Ward 7 and 8 are areas where young people don't have as many opportunities. You know, 50% of the young people in Ward 8 live below the poverty line, and so those kids need some additional help, you know, to have sort of a level playing field with peers, you know, that they would be competing against to be able to go to college and for jobs in this area.
Now the whole thing about it, looking at that area, when I'm there, you go out and you meet the youth that are there, even the adults. They're very engaging.
Yeah.
They want to be involved, you know, within the city, to have jobs, to do all the thing everybody else is doing. So what is it that you're doing specifically as that bridge from this area that's in the southeast, but yet back into all the mainstream of what's going on within Washington, D.C. itself? Because you're only literally 5 miles from the capital of the United States.
Right, yet that 5 miles can be a great distance, you know, in terms of what the opportunities are like. So for the young people in the neighborhoods where we're focused, they may not have people that they know outside of people in their school who are graduates of college. And we know that a college degree is really the best way to unlock your potential and to have some economic mobility in your family. Mm-hmm. So what we do is we pair each student with a volunteer mentor who works with our students throughout their time in high school and then into college. And it's that one-to-one mentoring that's it's supported by our staff and by a curriculum that helps our students really reach their potential, and it continues with them for 8 years. Because it's really important that our students get that continued support to help them with important transitions in their life, and ultimately helping them in their start a job and be able to have some, as I said, economic mobility in their family.
Oh, and looking at this whole thing, what are the age range that you're working with there, and also the various courses and classes that you're dealing with?
Well, we start with students when they're beginning their 10th grade year. We're focused on kids who are in the academic middle. So they may not be at the very top of their class, and they're not at the bottom of their class, but they have the potential to do college level work. And so what we do is we just help them stay on track. And these are kids who would otherwise probably not get that support. Kids at the top, kids at the bottom, there are lots of opportunities for them. This middle group is often a group that gets left out, particularly in poorer communities.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So what is in your background? Why did you want to actually dedicate your life to students and to education?
Well, I have a non-traditional nonprofit executive background. My first job out of college was playing professional basketball in Europe. I lived in Helsinki, Finland, and after coming back, I stayed involved with basketball and working with young people as a coach, a high school coach. And through those opportunities, and I thought I wanted to become a teacher and a coach. I would do that for the next 40 years of my life. Went to graduate school to get a master's in education, and then I pivoted to the nonprofit sector. So my first sort of job after earning a master's degree was as an acting executive director here at Capital Partners for Education. That was 16 and a half years ago, and so I've been doing that work ever since then, and growing our program slowly as we've been going along.
Yeah. So what are some of the greatest challenges that CPE faces as far as the students within Ward 7, Ward 8?
Well, our students, they have plenty of challenges to deal with. Our average income of the families that we work with is about $32,000 for a family of 4. Most of our kids live with a single parent. They're living in the most under-resourced neighborhoods in the area, and most are the first in their families to have gone to college. So they don't have professional networks, personal networks that can help them, compared to upper-income kids who have many advantages built in. And so, that's what we and our mentors do is again to go in, work with them very closely, and make sure that they have all the guidance, all the support. They're getting exposed to the right opportunities and getting the experience that they'll need to again be able to excel in the workforce.
Mm-hmm. Now, looking at the school district itself, are there any things that you need to bring into these schools where these students are located, or is it things that are already within the school division but they need to be used and repurposed in a different way?
We are not spending a lot of time in the school. Most of the work that we do happens after school and on the weekends. Mm-hmm. So we have workshops on Saturdays. We use local universities and local businesses to host programs and activities. We prepare our students and mentors to meet on their own time. We do visit schools and visit with students at school. And we work very closely, particularly with guidance counselors and administrators at our partner schools. And they share information with us and we share information with them. But in terms of specific curricula that's happening during the school day, no, there's not as much of that.
Yeah, looking at that as far as working with the guidance counselors and administrators, what is your role as far as that is concerned? Or are you really taking these students from their classes, giving them special opportunities, then bring them back into their normal school environment, or are you actually involved directly with the counselors and the administrators in the schools?
Mostly we're working with the counselors They help identify students for us. They'll share information with us to help better support the students. Again, we can share information with them as it comes to us. And so there's not a lot of activity that's happening during the school day that we're driving content and working with them. But we do work very closely with the college application process and making sure that we're supporting those guidance counselors, those college counselors, and providing whatever additional information that students and families will need through that process.
So looking at all this, what are some of the success stories that you could point out and just really excite you, keep you going back on a day-to-day basis and say, this is what I'm doing, that's why I'm here?
Sure.
Gave up basketball, so I'm out here with these students.
How much time do you have? Because,
Well, we got 2 or 3 would be sufficient.
I'll just tell you, the one I've been bragging about the most recently, about 2 weeks ago, we brought our first alumni board member onto our board. And this is a young woman that I met when she was 14 and was applying to our program. She has since earned 2 Ivy League degrees. She was a teacher and is now an administrator for a national education program. So she's a leader, and I'm incredibly proud. There's nothing better about my job than the opportunity to work with our alumni when they come back. All the time now, I'm getting opportunities to take our alumni out to lunch. We have nurses, we have teachers, we have lawyers, we have business people, nonprofit people, and they're coming back now to mentor with us, coming back to be donors, and now we even have a board member. So dozens and dozens of great stories that I could share with you, but I know that we don't have too much time.
Well, looking at all that, actually you share dozens of stories. So, you're looking at the various categories as far as nurses and police officers and all these others, and I think that's absolutely fantastic. But why do you see that your work is so important? That you really do. We were just teasing a little earlier about going back day to day and really excited about being there. But I saw you speak at our Rotary Club of Washington, D.C. You truly are that excited. And you do that on a day-to-day basis. So what is so important about your work that actually keeps you just coming back, 17 years now?
17 years, and in that time I've seen progress in our city in Washington, but that progress is not getting to everyone. And so things that are happening in Washington, are, I think, emblematic of things that are happening in the country, where you have lots of people doing well, but we're really drifting apart, I think, between the haves and have-nots. And there are people, we talked about Wards 7 and 8, young people who are living there are really not getting the types of opportunities and the type of support and preparation that they really need to be successful adults. And so we've had success in, with the small numbers of students that we've had at CPE. We need to grow. We need to serve many more. In the last about 4 years, through some changes in our program, we've been able to triple the size of our student body.
That's fantastic.
And so we're now, thank you. We're now supporting nearly 400 students in high school and in college, but that's just not enough. And so we're working on plans to be able to double from that yet again. And the need is certainly there. And so we're committed to trying to do as much as we can and getting the community's help. We need the community's help as volunteers, people to support us financially to be able to do this, because we rely, we work with nearly 500 volunteers every year. About 400 of those are people who are working with us on a regular basis.
So it's almost a 1-to-1 ratio then, as far as volunteers.
It's exactly 1-to-1.
The number of students you have right now.
1-to-1 mentoring, and then we rely on other corporate partners and many other volunteers who help us throughout the year. I believe that that is scalable, but we just need the community's support to be able to help lift young people out of poverty.
What do you see for the growth and expansion of Capital Partners for Education over the next 5, 10, 15 years? We've got about 20 seconds to do.
We're working aggressively to prepare for to scale up further. helping students in college, and then really helping young people prepare for the workforce.
Okay, this is Kerry Brown, Chief Executive Officer for Capital Partners for Education. Thank you for being with us as we talk about this very important movement, actually, if you want to go nationwide, as we look forward to the Inside Scoop.
Hi. You think you're probably sober?
Yeah.
But you're thinking about taking the back roads home, just in case. If you're probably sober, then why would you do that? Good choice.
Probably okay isn't okay. If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
That's a full glass of wine. I'll be chatting you later.
Hey, Gabby, how you doing? How's the play date and sleepover?
Dad, it was great.
Awesome. Okay, I'm on my way. Hey, guys, what are you doing?
We're going swimming. We're going biking. Yeah!
I'll see you in a little bit, guys. I love you.
Hi, babe. How was school today?
Hi, Dad. It was great.
Okay, honey. I'll be home soon. Remember, you're never too far away from your kids to be a dad. Reach out and take a second to check in, because sometimes the smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Can't see it. Hello, I'm Dr. Sam Hancock here, working with Ben Zuhl, the Executive Director for the Inside Scoop. This is a news program looking at the latest activities and all the action that's going on within the local community. It's really making a difference. And one of the topics that we're talking about is career and professional development, and also working with at-risk youth so that they actually have better opportunities as they're going through their lives in the future. And I have Brad Jensima, who's sitting right beside me. He is the Director for Development Communications at the Capital Partners for Education. And Brad, welcome to the Inside Scoop.
Thanks so much for having me, Sam.
I'm glad to have you here. And it was great having you at the Rotary Club of Washington, D.C. You did a very good job. Kerry, your executive director, was outstanding, and thank you for coming out and sharing about what you're doing in Ward 7 and 8 in Washington, D.C. But anyway, tell us a little bit about your role as Director of Development Communications. Why is that important? And then why is your organization so important? And I'm going to reverse this in Wards 8 and 7, which is how we normally think about that area.
Sure. Well, thanks again for having me. My role is important because Capital Partners for Education exists thanks to the generous support of our donors and thanks to our one-to-one individualized mentors. We work with over 500 volunteers and mentors throughout the city, and we work with a number of corporate partners and philanthropists throughout the city. So my role is to work with them to help support CPE and our students and ensure that our students have the resource, the skills, and the training in order to graduate high school, complete college, and thrive in their career.
Well, looking at the work you were doing there, Capital Partners for Education, I mean, it's really doing good work. Your executive director explained it very well, but from your perspective, because he's day-to-day working with the students, and you're really working with the community and trying to get the community involved. So looking at your activities, how does that actually color the work that you're doing and the impact that you're having as far as the organization itself?
That's right, and I work with business leaders and philanthropists across the city, and so I'm consistently meeting with them, trying to understand what they're looking to achieve, and really finding ways that we can partnership together to support our students. We work with corporate partners throughout the area who not only help provide financial resources and provide a great source of volunteers, but we also work with them so that we can better understand how we structure our program. We work with our corporate partners to understand what do they look for in candidates who, for their companies, what do they look for, what sort of skills are they looking for, and we found that we can understand what life skills that they're looking for in potential employees, and we found that often those aren't often taught to our students, and so we're able to work with our corporate partners both in a philanthropic way, but then also to fold that back into the program so that we're helping build a bridge for students starting in high school and through college and into the modern day workforce.
Now, looking at your organization, what do you say is some of the greatest strengths? Let's have 2 or 3 at least as far as the CRE.
Well, we're very fortunate to work with a number of generous corporate sponsors and philanthropists, and so that's a great strength. We have a tremendously dedicated board who provides a great foundation for us. Beyond that, though, I'd say our greatest strength is the relationships that our mentors form with our students. We have mentors are matched one-to-one with students individually, and so they often form lifelong bonds with one another. They consider each other members of their immediate family and go to each other's weddings, and really it's fascinating to see. I was talking with a mentor the other day who was telling me about all the lessons learned over their 15-year relationship, and they really have credited CPE with really the force that's allowed that student to be successful.
Well, I think it just flows right into our next questions. What makes CPE's work so unique and so special within these different areas in southeast of of Washington, D.C.?
Well, CPE works with students, particularly in Ward 7 and 8, and really what makes it unique is we work with specifically the students that have the most to gain from an individual mentor. These are students who come into our program with a 2.3 GPA to a 3.1 GPA in that range, and they come in and they're right on that cusp of college eligibility, and these are the students that with a one-to-one mentor support can really find great success. We know that about 2/3 of the DC area jobs require higher education, and CPE is able to help those students, specifically those on the bubble, not only graduate high school but graduate college. And also what makes CPE unique is that we built our program with a good amount of rigor. We work with nationally recognized research scientists to make sure that we're teaching the right program to both our students and mentors, that we have the right benchmarks and milestones to make sure that students remain on a pathway for success.
Yeah. Now, looking at this, the resources in the community, many times people are saying that the schools and the community is under-resourced. But you guys have been working there for a number of years. You're finding that actually there are sufficient resources, but if they're directed in the proper way. So how do you decide what is the proper way that you want to utilize the local community resources, as well as what the school division itself is providing to make the greatest impact on the students that you have?
And we've been fortunate to be working with students for 25 years now. And so I think that we found that being able to support students not only in school but out of school, our students and mentors really meet throughout the day, and it's another form of support that students have besides the schools themselves. We work with students so that the resources are. We're trying to find the right ways in order to support students, and there's certainly no shortage of strategies or opportunities to do that. And so, it's really my role to find the resources and provide more for our students so that we can help them in the best way possible.
That's fantastic. People sitting out here may say, gee, I'd love to be a mentor. And I have, math or science, the STEM skills or the STEAM, adding the arts to that. So what would be a typical role that someone would play in the life of one of your students, or maybe different tracks, the science, mathematics, the arts, and what would they be doing on a day-to-day or week-to-week basis? However many times they normally would meet with their students.
Well, we've been fortunate to have a number of volunteers, again, about over 500, and they really come from a variety of backgrounds. Many of them come from STEM careers. We work with some of the largest employers in the area, and really we're fortunate to have a number of mentors that we can match those mentors specifically with students based on their areas and based on their interests, so we can find the matches that really can help support students in the best way possible. We work with a number of government contractors in the area, being Washington, D.C. We work with a number of nonprofit groups. We work with mentors really from a number of the different careers in the area, so that our students have the knowledge and really the exposure to a bevy of career options. So that's been fascinating to see and meet all the different mentors and students, and really how we're able to help them in an individual way shape their career goals.
Now, how do mentors find out about you, and do you find out about mentors? What's that process to link them together and then to start creating this very creative networking opportunity?
Mentors come to us. Typically, a lot of them come through our website cpfe.org. Mentors can find us there. We're always looking for new talented mentors, because we know that bringing the community together and really to support our students has had a tremendous impact. Where so our students through those matches can really achieve a lot, and really would not have those opportunities were it not for our mentors. So cpfe.org is a way that mentors get involved. We also work with a number of partners throughout the area, both in the school system and our corporate partners, to provide some pipeline and avenues to become a mentor. But anyone who would like to get involved, we're always looking for new and better ways to help support our students.
Well, that sounds very exciting that you have all these opportunities for mentorships, because there's many people that are in just entering into corporations or maybe even nonprofits. They're looking for a way to promote themselves, to gain new leadership skills, and then maybe even middle management. So all of these ways are allowing the people in the community to gain skills, because I've heard many mentors say, I learned much more than I thought I'd ever would, but also I think I learned much more than what the mentee actually learned from this experience.
Absolutely. It really is a two-way street. Our mentors gain valuable life skills. We talk about teaching those life skills. They gain valuable life skills. They gain new perspectives, and really our mentees also obviously value from our mentors' expertise. But it really is a give and take, a two-way street, and those mentors and mentees do support one another. So it's really fascinating and powerful to see, particularly when you're talking with a mentee or with a mentor, and they say, I really learned something the other day from talking with my student.
Yeah, we have many mentors within the Rotary Club of Washington, D.C., and they always come back and saying that, and at the end of the year, they talk about what they've learned, from the mentees. And so I just think it's absolutely fantastic that you're actually providing this opportunity for the community as well as the students. So I think it's much credit to your organization. We're just about running out of time, so members of the community, we think we went over that as far as how they get involved. They can come through your portal as far as your website, actually see you in action, or contact the schools. So what do you see for the growth and development expansion of your Capital Partners for Education, say over the next 5, 10, or 15 years? What do you see?
Well, we've been fortunate again to support students for the last 25 years or so, and really within the last 5 years we were mentoring about 110 students in 2012, and now have nearly 400. And so we've grown tremendously in the last 5 years or so, and really in the next 5 and 10 years we hope to get to as many as 1,000 students. And so we're working to better understand how we can support more students and support them in the ways that they need help, and so that we can make sure that they remain on those pathways to success.
That's fantastic. Well, the very last question, you don't even know about this one, but what has been the personal growth and professional growth that you've gone through? We have about 20 seconds, but what do you see? How has this empowered you? How has it changed you as a human being working with all the people in these areas?
I feel so fortunate to be in the position that I do, and I've learned so much from our students. They really are a motivation and really show you what's possible. They're dedicated, and I'm excited for what they're going to do in the years to come.
That's fantastic. This is Brad Gisema, is the Director of Development Communications, Capital Partners for Education. Thank you for being with us as we look at education in our area, as we create the Inside Scoop.
Papas out there, let's stop what we're doing and take a moment to be with our kids. They can be loud moments, goofy moments, dorky moments. It doesn't really matter. Every time dads take a moment to be with their kids, it's pretty momentous. So let's all take a moment to make a moment today.
Hey, did you know that 2.4 million loving cats and dogs in shelters and rescues need our help to find a home? Go to theshelterpetproject.org and search your local shelters and rescues. Go for a cuddle with your next best friend. Adopt.
Okay, so we drowned the fire, stirred it, drowned it again, and now just feel if it's cold.
Yeah.
Cool.
Smokey just gave me a bear hug.
I know. I already posted it.
We cannot be bystanders.
We can stop to make sure someone is okay.
We can warn someone when their drink isn't safe.
And disrupt the situation.
We can.
Get someone the cab.
Or walk them home safely.
We can make campuses safer for our friends.
Our roommates.
Our classmates. Our fellow human beings.
We cannot be bystanders.
We can. Intervene.
It's on us.
All of us.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
When it comes to saving money,
What? Parents!
don't act like a baby.
Oh, it's like they're having their own little meeting.
This is so humiliating. Be the boss. I'm the boss.
What the?
Power nap.
You were saying. And make a budget.
Let's get to work.
Need a little help?
Stacy, read back the notes.
I can't read. What's it say?
Create a personalized savings plan and get other tools and tips.
We can share.
You obviously didn't go to business school. At feedthepig.org.
We're back to the Inside Scoop. Here again, your host.
Hello, I'm Dr. Sam Hancock here with the Inside Scoop, working with Ben Zuhl, who is the executive director of this. And they're giving all the news that people really need out in the community, and the ways that link the community with the resources that are in the area. So the whole thing about looking at education, many people think that we have to go K-12 and then we graduate from high school, we go on to university, then possibly into a master's degree and on into the PhD. And that really is what the educational chain is all about. But I have a gentleman sitting right beside me is going to talk about something completely different, which is career and professional development in a way that most people don't even think about it, because you can go K-12, graduate, but if you're going through, I guess, what we could call the academies, Harold, I'm going to introduce you formally in just a minute, is that the way they can gain a skill and at the same time be able to pay for their college tuition and all the fees and everything that's going on there and take the burden off of their families. This is Harold Redden. He is the chair of the Automotive Dealers Education Institute, a very fine organization and something our Rotary Club of Washington, D.C. has been supporting for a long time. And also he's general manager of Fitzgerald Auto Mall. And Harold, welcome to the Inside Scoop.
Well, thank you, Sam. Glad to be here. Good evening.
I'm glad to have you with us. Tell us a little bit about the Washington Area Automobile Dealers Association, WNADA, and why is that so important?
Well, WNADA is a trade association for the Washington area new car dealers. And they manage a variety of different issues for car dealers. And one of the very important ones to us is the upbringing and education of entry-level automobile technicians into our industry. As you may know, our industry has been selling, record numbers of cars for the last almost decade since the economic downturn. And that's created a huge shortfall of auto technicians and made the career choice a very important one for a lot of young people.
Now, looking at this, as far as WNATA is concerned and the Automotive Dealers Education Institute, they work hand in glove, and the car dealers are very excited about this and have been for a long time to prepare young people to come in, male or female. So why is WNATA so excited about this, and the fact that you're really providing this as a service out to, like yourself, the car dealers, and bringing this bridge between the talent that's in the schools and then the talents needed as far as the dealerships?
Well, the service is both to the dealers who need technicians, but it's also to the young people looking to start a career. And so WNATA's program, part of it, helps match up those individuals with dealers that have a need for technicians, which is practically every dealer in our area. WNATA operates this program currently in both Montgomery County and Fairfax County. And the most likely candidate for our program is a individual that's in the auto technology curriculum in high school. And once they graduate the high school coursework, they enter into this program. Most of the time, those individuals have met dealers, have worked with dealers and shadowing experiences and so forth. And they know the dealers, and the dealers are willing to sponsor them into this program. And the beauty part of it is where in a traditional automotive education situation, an individual might run up a $40,000 student loan over the course necessary to get the curriculum that they need to pass the industry certifications. The dealer sponsors that. The individual's able to work. The way the program works is they go to school in Fairfax County for 2 nights a week, and in Montgomery County for 1 full day at the Montgomery College. And then the rest of the time is spent in the dealership working with a mentor, and they earn money. So they're able to make an income while at the same time getting a valuable education.
And also too is if they want to, they could actually be taking college courses like at Montgomery College or Nova.
Absolutely.
Or at the George Mason University or any of the fine universities within this area. So there's really no limit on what they can do and how they can perceive themselves as being successful in moving forward, right?
Precisely. And as a matter of fact, we certainly promote that they get college credit for their credentials. In Montgomery College, they can take their ASE credentials, which stands for Automotive Service Excellence, and they can convert those into college credit as they achieve those credentials.
How do you keep the curriculum current so that you have the latest technologies being learned, the latest technologies that the dealerships are faced with, and there's a direct match between those two?
Well, that's a big problem, especially now since we have a lot of new technologies on the forefront. We have alternative fuel vehicles, hybrids, electric vehicles, and autonomous vehicles that are being talked about a good bit. And so I mentioned ASE, which is the credentials that the technicians earn. There's a arm of the ASE organization called NATEF, which is their job is to provide a curriculum update to coursework that keeps that curriculum current with the state of the industry.
So it's always being matched then as far as what's needed and also what's coming down, I would assume, out of the manufacturers going into the dealerships.
Exactly. That all gets mixed into the equation. And the beauty part of it is that those students are receiving exactly what they're going to get in that testing. So it enables them to understand. Plus, when they get into industry, they're current. They know exactly, the state-of-the-art vehicles. They're not being trained on 10-year-old cars.
Now looking at the automobile dealerships, how do they value this work that's going on and the support they're getting through the Automotive Dealers Education Institute?
Every dealer I know, and I've worked for Fitzgerald for over 40 years, and I started as an auto tech back in the 70s.
That is incredible. So you're a success story.
Well, I'm fortunate to be in. At the time, there was not these organized programs, and so it was a little different how you received your education. But dealers find this very valuable because the number one thing they have to do to satisfy their customers is to correctly repair their customers' vehicles. And so you need people that work in that profession that know what they're doing and can effectively do whatever kind of work is needed, from recalls to maintenance work to diagnosis and repairs. So it's very important work, and customers judge us more than anything on our ability to repair their car correctly the first time.
Yeah, and that's very important because they don't want to keep coming back and back
Exactly,
and back.
and that's what allows the dealer to have a great reputation with his customers. Not the only thing, but it's a very important thing. And so at Fitzgerald Auto Malls, over half of our incoming technicians come from this program. So we really believe that.
That is incredible.
Yes.
Over half.
Over half.
Yeah.
And we have some second generation folks that have started out in this program.
Oh, that is absolutely incredible. Looking at high school students and then going to the adult learners, are there two different tracks that they go through? And if so, how does one get in, say, to the high school curricula? And then the adult learners, what do they do that's different than going through the high school setting?
Well, first of all, I think it's important for the viewers to understand that the WNATA program has 5 modules. And so it's accomplished in 2.5 years. Each one of them is a semester long.
Now, is this like an apprenticeship, or is this actually formal study, or both?
This is both.
Both, okay.
Both. So the program has those 5 modules. For someone that's coming out of high school, for example, we in a progression would organize the delivery of those modules. If we have technicians that are already in the industry and maybe they're certified in 5 of the 8 areas that's necessary to become a master technician, they may just a la carte take the modules that they need to complete their education process. People that aren't in the industry, maybe that are in their 20s, 30s, 40s, WNATA employs a program manager who screens those employees for aptitude and matches them up with dealers. And so someone that's not coming out of high school, if they're interested in this and they have an aptitude for auto technology, they have an opportunity to be paired up with a dealer and for the dealer to sponsor them. So I'd say probably 20% of our students come through that way.
I've done. Looking at this as far as the adult learners, why is it important for them to look at going into maybe being an automobile technician in today's world? Because many people can go into IT, information technology. There are many other skilled trades they can go into. But yet it seems like really the advancement, a lot of that really depends on the automotive industry itself.
Well, the number one reason is it's a very, very high-paying career. So
share some of that with us, because many people, say, really?
Well,
they don't understand that.
We have technicians that approach $100,000 a year, and some of them, the exceptional ones, much more in some cases. So you can kind of regulate based on your aptitude and your skills and your knowledge and how well you executed all this curriculum that you received. You can control where you go. And someone that understands how an automobile works is just worth their weight in gold.
Yeah. And in the days of the backyard, junkyard working on cars and all that's gone way, it's long gone, because it's all about computers and how you tie computing in. Because really you have this huge computer and there's also a car attached to it. It's almost the way to look at it.
Well, it seems like the technology in our automobiles surpasses what was on the Apollo space missions and the navigation to the moon and so forth. It's incredible, the technology that exists in them.
We were talking about the adult learner and how much they can make, and this really is getting into high figures. But a high school student starting out, so they have their 2 years or so within the high school, what can they expect? And then what is the advancement trail for them as far as going through with the automobile dealers?
Well, every dealer sets their own pay scale for the technician, so it's hard for me to give you the exact.
Yeah, just general will be fine.
But it's not uncommon for someone that's completed our program very early after they've completed the program to, to be in the $45,000, $50,000 range.
That's fantastic. Yeah. Well, Gerald from Montgomery County is asking, as far as the students there, they're in the high school and then they want to come out and they want to go into your program, this Automotive Dealers Educational Institute. What do they do? Because they already have some experience, they've done the shadowing and other kinds of things. Then how do they progress through these 5 modules?
Well, they're started out in Module 1, which is the basic steering, suspension, and brakes and automotive safety
So they're
course.
getting more specificity as far as the technology. I see, okay.
Okay, and then they progress through.
No, so they go from there. Well, we're out of time. And tell us a little bit about what do you see over the next 4, 5, 10, 15 years, WNATA, where it's going as far as sponsoring and endorsing education?
I see this program expanding more in Fairfax County. I see this program expanding around the Beltway and very possibly expanding into other regions of the country, because it really is the only place where someone can receive this education, the value of the education, get paid at the same time.
That's fantastic. Harold Redmond, he is the chair of the Automobile Dealers Education Institute. Thank you for being with us as we create the Inside Scoop.
Guess what? I have some news for you. There's free food right there, junk food. Do you see that truck? Oh, jeez. It's a 2 Michelin star chef. All for free, ladies and gentlemen. All for free.
Here we have a panzanella with summer vegetables and pesto. Enjoy. How we doing?
Fantastic. So what do you got going on underneath that plate there?
This food is really about to be thrown away.
Yeah.
Is there something wrong with this food? Where did you get it from?
From farmers markets. They put aside the ugly vegetables and the ugly fruits.
Carrot top, soft avocados. It was all food that was going to be discarded.
Even the drink you had is made from like a little bruised peach. Did it taste a little bruised?
Great. It's good.
The average person throws away 24 pounds of food a month.
That's a lot.
Isn't that a lot? Go visit SaveTheFood.com for more information. Thank you. Junk food time!
Hello, I'm Dr. Sam Hancock here for Inside Scoop, working with Ben Zuhl, the executive director for this very educational program. And it's looking from all over the area as far as what is actually going on and how to bring the news from the local community into your home. I have Steve Bowden, who is the supervisor for the Automotive Trades Foundation, Montgomery County Public Schools. And welcome, Steve.
Thank you for having me.
Glad to have you with us. Say, tell us a little bit about what's going on as far as the Montgomery County Schools and the Automotive Trades Program.
Great. Montgomery County Public Schools offers a variety of career and technology education programs. Our goal is to make sure that students get to explore opportunities before they leave high school. So through innovative programs like the Automotive Trades Foundation program, which was created back in the mid-70s, we give students the opportunity to explore the operation of a licensed used car dealership while they're still in high school. So not only do they have the opportunity to explore the various career opportunities that a car dealership would have to offer, but they also get to earn college credit while they're still in high school.
See, I think that's absolutely fantastic. So you're really not duplicating things, but you're allowing them to have a dual level. They're gaining very practical skill training, and then at the same time taking university credit. How does that really work, and where does the university credit come from?
Okay, well, we have articulation agreements with local institutions like Montgomery College and Community College of Baltimore, and so anywhere where there's overlap in the curriculum that we're delivering, there's a college equivalency to that. In addition to that, the students are taking curriculum that's based off of the NATEF, or National Automotive Technicians Education Foundation, and that program is also correlated with college. And so if a student is able to pass those industry credential certifications, they're able to earn an equivalence in college credits.
Now, looking at this, many times people are looking at the university credits or going through and getting their degrees, but yet more and more certifications really is the currency of coin, and it's really important for them to have these various certifications. So looking at that, even though they can apply that for college credit, why is there such an emphasis now on certification, particularly in the automotive industry and some of the other trades that you're actually teaching in Montgomery County Public Schools as well?
Well, I think the key is to make sure that students have the opportunity to explore different things so that they can find out what they're good at, and that way you can match their aptitudes and their interests with the things that they really do well, and they can continue studying it, because we all know when we study or do something that we enjoy, we put that much more effort into it. And so when it comes to college and careers, at one point folks thought, you know, college ready is career ready. That's not the case. There are many folks who go to college and end up back at home in their parents' basement because they haven't had that opportunity to explore different things and become really good at them. Through the career and technology education programs of Montgomery County, you're able to not only explore different things, but also become college and career ready, which is very important.
Yeah, through the WANATA program, which is the Washington Area New Automobile Dealers Association, they're very keen on education because the dealers really need good, skilled people. At the same time, they want bright people that are willing to progress, to learn new things, to stay current in the trade. So looking at Montgomery County Public Schools, how are you structuring this so people become inquisitive, they have the basic foundation skills that they need so they can keep progressing in the trade, but yet still use the trade that they've learned, but keep enhancing that?
Well, one of the most critical parts to a good educational program is making sure that you're tied in with your business partners in the community. And so the Washington Area New Automobile Dealers Association, or WANATA, has been a premier partner with Montgomery County Public Schools back into the 70s. In 1978, they created this nonprofit educational foundation, the Automotive Trades Foundation. And I was actually a student that went through these programs many years ago, and now I have the privilege of helping other students explore different careers through those programs. And so not only have they created the program that we currently are operating within the school district at 4 separate high schools, but they also have a new program that they created in 2004, which is their Automotive Dealer Educational Institute, which helps students once they graduate, because we want to make sure that there's a formal and seamless transition for students once they graduate high school. So they can pursue a degree at college, they can go into a technical school, they can go to work, or you could have the best of both worlds and go into a program like WANATA offers, where students will work 4 days a week, and the extra day they go to Montgomery College and go through a formal educational program that is again endorsed by NATEF.
Now the whole thing about this, and I'm really impressed with this, it sounds like this is all very seamless. So you have the professional association, which is WANATA, you have the Montgomery County Public School System, you have Montgomery College, you have the Community College of Baltimore, and of course in Fairfax they have NOVA working on this side of the river. So how is it so seamless? Is it because of the industry emphasis on this and importance as far as certification as well as academic, or is it that the schools have made it this seamless, or is it just, how does all that work?
I think that that there's an importance to valuing other people's opinions, and so we have board meetings where we bring together all of those stakeholders, the high school system, the post-secondary partners, along with our business partners, and it's all led by our business partners, and that's the critical part of it. And WNATA helps kind of wrap the bow around it and make sure that everybody is working well together. And so through this organization, we're able to make sure that we're meeting the needs not only of the kids who are currently in school, but also beyond that, because we know that every year that, say, a teacher is teaching a program in school, if the industry is changing and the teacher's not keeping up with it, you're a year behind. So working together and making sure that there's a group and a formal structure for allowing the business community to interface with the school system and allowing the school system the opportunity to provide career enriching experiences like field trips or industry visits through our local dealers is just critical. And then the fact that the Dealer Association has a program that's absolutely free to students, so if they choose to pursue this industry, they have that opportunity. So you can actually learn while you're earning money, and so they leave this program potentially a master automobile technician with zero college debt.
Yeah, that's absolutely fantastic. And the whole thing about it is to give them a skilled trade that they may go into IT or anything else, and then several years later they may say, hey, I really like working with automobiles, and they come back in and they refresh the skills, their training, the computer aspects of that. But looking at this as far as the teachers are concerned, you raise really an interesting statement there about making sure that the faculty are staying current. So through what you're doing with the public schools, Montgomery College, WNATA, other educational institutions, how does the faculty stay current in all of this? And they do that on a year-to-year, or what's the basis for that?
The teachers for all of the organizations, including the school district, Montgomery College, and the CCBC program, they're all master automobile technicians. And so there's a requirement, not only a testing requirement, but also a training requirement for those teachers. And so, for example, our teachers will sit side by side with practicing technicians getting professional development from the manufacturers. So the professional development component is critical, not just for the teachers, but also for the curriculum portion as well. So NATEF takes care of our curriculum to make sure that there's an alignment with the skills that are really needed in industry. And then we provide that professional development to make sure that our educators are state-of-the-art on the edge, because every year as you see new cars roll off the manufacturing plants, you see that the technology is just incredible. The things that are coming are quite exciting, and I don't think it'll be long before we have autonomous cars. And remember, those are all the types of technology that our students are going to be facing when they get out into the work world. So we have to make sure that we're looking 3, 4, 5 years into the future.
And the whole thing about that is that they're hands-on right now with all this. And as the technology's changing, they're actually changing with that. And so your faculty is doing that same thing.
Exactly.
So do they actually continue to have their certification? So this is something that goes on to continue their professional development, but at the same time to allow them to have the certifications that recognizes the type of training and education they're getting either through the manufacturers or through the local dealers association.
Exactly, and both are critically important to make sure that when we say a student is we're teaching the student and they're learning, that's okay. But when you get the outside validation of an industry certification or an industry credential where they've gone to the independent testing facility and they've tested them and they show yes, this student has met standard, that to me is the critical portion of it. But our teachers also go back every 5 years and they get their ASE testing and make sure that they're up to date with their technology and their teaching. So that's very important. So again, just like a practicing automotive technician will go in and take their tests every 5 years, so do our teachers to make sure that that technology is right on the cutting edge.
That's absolutely fantastic. And looking at all this, what the manufacturers, how do they actually work work with you, work with WNATA, work with the community colleges and the colleges so that they make sure that everything is getting through to the students that they need, so when those technicians actually go in. Now this is just beyond the national testing, but the manufacturers are very keen that they really know their technology with their type of cars and trucks, of course.
Absolutely, and the manufacturer's involvement varies depending on the manufacturer. They're very much welcome to get involved with the Automotive Dealer Educational Institute program, but one way they've incorporated that into the training is they make sure that 1 hour a day is dedicated to manufacturer training in the ADEI program. So as the students take that the 1 day at Montgomery College, 1 hour is dedicated to making sure they've got the manufacturer-specific training. So when they go back to the dealership and the mentor they're working with, they're trained in the latest technology by Toyota, Ford, GM, BMW, whatever manufacturer, you know, the dealers.
So that's going to track whatever manufacturer that they're actually working with. Like
Absolutely.
you said, GM or Ford or Toyota, Honda, whatever it may be.
Absolutely, and in many cases, some of the manufacturers won't let you make repairs on the vehicle unless you've already proven competence by getting that certification through the manufacturer.
Last question, and we're about finished here, Steve. What do you see for the growth and development as far as this training program, but going across the whole system? The dealerships, the colleges, and the public schools?
Well, right now there's a huge technician shortage for well-trained, high-tech, really bright students, young men and women who are interested in pursuing careers in the automotive industry. So I think that they've got great opportunities because everyone's working together, the dealers, the Washington Auto Dealer Association, the school districts, both Montgomery and Fairfax, along with our post-secondary partners. So I think that the time is right for students to get involved.
Steve, thank you for
so
being
much.
with us.
Absolutely.
Steve Lowe, Supervisor, Automotive Trades Foundation, Montgomery County Public Schools, as we look around the world, as we expand the Inside Scoop.